we've finally gotten our first official look at Nintendo's 9th generation console, the Switch. Details were light in the days after its official announcement. Based on first impressions, it sure seems like the new system could be capable of going head-to-head with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Here's a rundown on what we know about the Nintendo Switch so far and how it will stack up against the competition. It's a console and a portable. By now, you may be wondering why Nintendo called its new console the Switch. Well, check this out.
That's crazy!
That's right, with this new console, gamers will be able to switch from playing at home or on the go. The trailer shows more scenarios like playing on a park bench, on an airplane, and even on the road. And when you've gotten to where you're going, just plug that thing back into the TV. From what we can see in the trailer, the Switch seems nowhere near as bulky as the Wii U gamepad. Instead, Nintendo's latest console has a sleek and slim design that's more reminiscent of a tablet. Ever since 1989, Nintendo has dominated the handheld gaming market. Microsoft never really did much with its tablet-based smart glass project, and Sony's portable ambitions with the PSP and PlayStation Vita could never touch Nintendo. If the Switch can truly deliver on the promise of being a fully functional home portable hybrid, Nintendo will give Microsoft and Sony a run for their money. The mighty JoyCon. The Switch's detachable controllers, called JoyCons, will give players tons of options. These two little doohickeys can be attached to one controller hub, the Switch console itself can be used like Wii-style nunchucks, or even as individual controllers for multiple players. That's 4 different configurations for one device. And then there's also the Nintendo Switch Pro controller that made an appearance in the trailer. While Sony and Microsoft both offer traditional style wireless controllers for their consoles, they have nothing like the Joy-Con's adaptability. Mobile multiplayer. Nintendo wants to bring back local multiplayer in a big way. The trailer shows more than one Switch console being linked together, apparently wirelessly. It seems like a fair bet that the Switch will have some form of Wi-Fi built in too, but until Nintendo tells us more, we're only guessing. The Switch also looks like it's built with esports in mind, with 2 teams of gamers getting together to duke it out over a game of Splatoon. Kick it with the stand. Back in the GameCube days, Nintendo decided to stick a little handle on their flagship console so you could carry it around like a lunchbox, which cost $200. This time around, however, the Switch looks like it's truly equipped for gameplay anywhere, anytime. Why? It's got a kickstand! This may not seem important, but small details like this can make or break a device. If you're tired of holding the whole console, you can set it up on a table and get comfortable. As far as design decisions go, that little tiny piece of plastic is actually kind of brilliant. Putting the cart before the disc. The rumors are true, Nintendo is ditching discs in favor of cartridges. The Switch seems to run on small game cards, apparently similar in size and shape to 3DS game cards. Unfortunately, Nintendo confirmed that the Switch won't play Wii U discs or 3DS cartridges. Still, it's possible the Switch might rely on SD cards, just like the 3DS, for expandable internal storage, meaning players might be able to carry lots of games on each card. Either way, that means lots of games on the go. Nvidia visuals. On the same day that Nintendo's Switch trailer went live, Nvidia announced that it had provided the console with a custom Tegra processor, quote, based on the same architecture as the world's top-performing GeForce gaming graphics cards. Of course, a console's performance can't be summed up by knowing just one of its components that's under the hood. And as of the making of this video, Nintendo hasn't revealed any of Switch's internal hardware specs. However, the trailer gives us a glimpse at someone playing a game that sure does look like Skyrim, both on the go and on television. An article on Ars Technica speculates that the Switch will switch between 720p and 1080p visuals depending on whether it's on the go or in the dock. We won't know how close it'll stack up to the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One until we know more about the internal specs, but it seems safe to say that it won't look like, well, this.
Hello!
New exclusives and a third-party party. For years, Nintendo has struggled to attract third-party game makers to make software for its consoles. It's obviously way too early to know whether or not the Switch will remedy that problem in the long run. But Nintendo revealed that nearly 50 third-party publishers and developers have committed to their new console. We know the Switch will have new games featuring Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, and Mario Kart. But having top-tier AAA games from the likes of Bethesda, EA, and Capcom, that could help Switch get hardcore gamers on board, while also appealing to lifelong Nintendo fans and casual gamers alike. Waiting to flip the Switch. For all we know, or think we know, there's still plenty we don't. As of the making of this video, we're still in the dark about the Switch's full tech specs, its launch titles, its actual release date, or even the console's purchase price. How long will the batteries last? How much will it cost to replace a Joy-Con after one of them gets thrown out the window during a vigorous session of minivan Mario Kart? because that's totally going to happen. But even with the little information we do have, it seems like Nintendo wants the Switch to make waves. Could this be the console Nintendo meant to make when the Wii U flopped? Will it capture the attention and hard-earned cash of casual and hardcore game fans alike?
Shut up and take my money.
Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, we've never seen a console like this before. In the end, there's only one thing we can say to Nintendo about the Switch.
Good luck!
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment to let us know what you think about the Nintendo Switch.